Hello guys, welcome to my channel again. So today we are going to work on another problem from HackerRank, and this video is again in continuation with the already ongoing HackerRank series where I was solving a lot of HackerRank problems, and I have already solved a few of them and you can see that on my channel. So today we are going to work on one problem from data structure section, and this is the continuation of Java 1D array. So this is part 2, though this is medium difficulty. The earlier one was easy and this is actually difficult, it's not easy. So before we move on to this problem, if you are new to my channel, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And now let's see what this problem says. So here we can see that they have given us a game on an array, and what they want us to do in a gist is that they will provide us few queries. So what they mean by that, here you can see the first number as 4, so this is like the number of queries, and there is a pair. So this is the first pair, meaning first query. This is your second query, third and fourth. So what we will have is like we will have an array in this second line of a query. So this being a query, and this being the first line, this being the second line. So this second line is containing the array, and this one, the first line, is what it is doing is it is saying that the first integer is going to be the length of the array, and the second one is the leap. So what do we mean by leap? So let's see what they say. So here we have a game in which we can move forward one step, we can move backwards one step, and then we can leap like a certain step that they have given us as 3 in this example, right? So considering we can like move forward or backwards, we can only move backwards or forward or leap if the number on which we are leaping is equals to 0, otherwise we cannot. Here they have specified that. So in case we are jumping over the array maximum capacity, that means that we have won the match or the game, otherwise we have not. So it's pretty simple. So in this case, if you see, it is 3, right? So that means that we can move max to max 3 step, minimum 1 step, right? So we always start from the index 0. So here we are starting from this 0, and then we can move 1 step forward, and then we can also do 1 step backward. But here we don't have any kind of a scenario where we have to move backward. So here we can directly move forward because they all are zeros, right? So if we leap 3 steps, so where will we will be here. And then if we do 3 steps again, that means that we have exceeded the maximum capacity of this array being 5. So if that's the case, then we have won the match. When will we not win the match? If you see here, we have given this length of the array as 6 right here. So here, let's say if we move forward 1 step, so from here we moved here. Now if we leap 3, 1 2 3, we will come at this one, not 0. And if we don't leap, we will be here, and not leap 1 step, we will be here. And if we directly leap 3 steps from here, we will be here. So again, here there is no possibility of reaching out to any number as 0, right? There is no such possibility. That's why we will never win this game. So that's why we have to print no in this case. So according to the logic, there are few conditions that we have to take care of. Previously I understood this question completely wrong, so I did a different approach. Now what I will use is DFS. So I will use DFS to go deep into the array combinations. So what I will do is I will take on the conditions on which we know that it is going to fail. So when it is going to fail, if it doesn't see any 0, right, that means that it is failing. And there are two things that we can do. Either we can have a visited array, or we can maintain the values in the existing array. What we can do is, if you see any 0 that has been visited, you can make it to 1, right? So if it is 1, we will consider this as a visited element or number, and if it is already 1, then we don't have to do anything. Like, it will make this again 1, but we won't know the change. So let's write down the logic. I have explained a lot of things, so sorry for the big explanation, but I thought that was needed. So yeah, approach is really simple. Like, there are three things that we have to do. First is the statement that we have to take care of in case we have to return false, or in case if it is going to lose the game, right? Second condition is going to be the one where we are going to win the game, right? And the third condition is your recursion, where we are going to do, not condition, where we are going to do DFS, right? But we have to keep account of one thing, that we have to make the visited element as one, right? These are the steps that we have to do. So here you can see that the possible combinations are like, we can either move backwards or forward one step, or we can leap plus, right? So we will write down each condition here, because that's why we are using DFS, right? So we can do can win, but before we do that, we need index here, because we cannot leap until we have an index. So either you can create your own function here, again a new method, or you can modify the existing one. So here I will just give 0, because it is going to start from index 0. So here it will be index, right? Now what we will do is, we will write down all the possibilities. So the first possibility is going to be to move backwards, right? So leap will be same, array will be same, index is going to be index -1, right? Now what we need is, we need the second condition, which is to move forward. So it will be +1. Last condition would be to leap. So we'll do plus leap. So these two values are not going to change, right? But this will a lot. So here we know that the condition is going to be like, if a index equals 1, in that case we found something we don't want to, or we can pretty much say that if we leaped onto this step, and we can directly say that okay, we have lost the game, or we can come backwards to the DFS in the stack, so that we can pick up the another one, right? So that's what we are doing here. We are returning false, so that we can know that okay, this part has been done, right? So when it is going to pass or win, that is pretty much obvious. So they have already given us the exact statement. So here if you see, in other words, if you can move from index I to index I plus 1, like we can move from index I to I plus 1, I minus 1, and I plus. These are the three recursion that we are doing, and as long as the destination index is a cell containing a 0, right? If the destination index is greater than n minus 1, then you win the game, right? So when are we going to win the game? If the index plus 1 is greater than n minus 1, right? So n being the element, or you can say the array length, -1, or we can win this game if index plus leap is greater than game dot length -1. So in this case we are going to return true, then we don't have to do anything, right? We got the condition satisfied, and here the current index has to be 1, and this is it what we have to write. I am missing one thing, but I wanted to show you first before we move on. So here the initial test case is going to return true for the obvious reasons, because it's not containing a lot of scenarios, so it will always be true. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm getting index out of bound exception. If you see here, it is coming at line 6. So why here we are getting that? Because if we move backwards, and if the index is starting from 0, then what is going to happen? It is going to index -1, which we cannot handle. So in that case we don't have to move backwards, right? So if if game, sorry, not game, what I'm doing. If index is less than 0 or this, then we have to return false. So if you run this now, so yeah, sample test case was big enough for handling this situation. So if you try to submit code, it should work fine for you. So I can recap this in brief. So what we have done is we have a falsify condition where we are returning false so that we can know, okay, the user has lost the game. Here we have the condition where we are showing or checking if the user has won the game. Here we are signifying that, okay, this has been visited. So if it has won, then we don't have to come at this step. Here we are possibly doing all kind of steps that we can in terms of moving forwards or backwards. So these are all possible combination here. That's why we use TFS, right? So this is what we have to do, and this is the entire code that we have to write. We just have to think few things, because like this is not a good example of DFS BFS. Like in usual tree and graph, we see that approach pretty much easily, but we have to consider these approaches whenever we are working on any kind of data structure, because it can be helpful, right? So this is it for this video, and I hope I was able to teach you something. If there is any kind of doubt, you can write that down on the comment section. I will obviously help, and I will meet you in the next video, and I am hoping for that. So till then, have a good day, stay safe, and bye bye.